Congratulations for completing the book of Proverbs 16 with me as we discuss this code of conduct as I began to recognize it during my quiet time in the scriptures that this book was a very, very important set of guidelines for the men and women of First Peter 2 and 9, the royal priesthood, those who are called to be agents of justice to right what has been wrong in relationships, whether it be in friendships, whether it be in families, whether it be in business partnerships, relationships between communities. Proverbs 16 serves as a very important guideline for those of you who are called to be peacemakers, mediators, and yes, even judges and arbitrators in the earth. I welcome you. I celebrate you, and I encourage you to continue doing the good work and fighting the good fight of faith, and knowing that you are necessary for the days and the times that we live in. And although we completed the 16th chapter, I had in my notes this additional verse to share a very, very important concept concerning your role in justice. And it is a very serious concept, and it comes out of the very next chapter of Proverbs 17:23, and it reads, "Do not accept bribes, they pervert justice." My most painful experience with this particular proverb comes from a situation that nearly cost me my job and my reputation at Legal Aid. One day, I was talking to someone who had applied for legal aid services, and during the conversation, I discovered that this lady was not eligible for legal aid. Like, she actually lied, right, to get access to free legal counsel. And in discovering this, I confronted her, and I wasn't. I didn't beat around the bush about it. It just was like, hey, are you a business owner and you making money, or are you poor? Like, you can't claim food stamps and claim wealth. Like, that's talking out of both sides of your mouth. Like, this was the conversation and the confrontation that I had with this particular lady. And she was convicted, and she was moved with appreciation at the way that I confronted her and the way that I called her into accountability and challenged her to pick a side. Are you going to be on the side of poverty, where you can talk to a lawyer for free? Or are you going to be on the side of wealth, where you are not having to depend on the system, but trusting in the power to create wealth that you were created with? The very next day, this woman comes to my office, unannounced, unexpected, bearing gifts. She had all kind of stuff, little treats, and we had a policy at our office concerning gifts. We were not allowed to accept any gifts over $25 from clients. There are a lot of ethical rules and considerations when it comes to gifts because of this proverb, because of this principle, because of human nature and what history tells us about how how people are willing to look past your wrong when you give them gifts. So, uh, based on my calculations, nothing about these gifts violated the gift policy. But right before she left, this lady reached into her fanny pack and she counted out five $20 bills and put $100 on my desk and told me she's not taking it back. She wanted to express her gratitude and her appreciation for my counsel, for my confronting her, for my setting her straight. And this was her token of appreciation. Well, at that point, Shar panicked because this meeting happened after hours. I didn't have a manager on duty, a supervising attorney that I could talk to and ask questions. I was very, very used to really running my own show, to be honest with you, like I wasn't, nobody supervised my work. I was just an attorney in a firm who handled my business. And so being very self-driven, self governing, wanting to do the right thing, and not wanting to be sitting up here with this lady money and holding on to it like I accepted a gift. I decided in the moment, under panic, to send $100 to another client of mine who was on public housing, struggling financially, also a single mother. The single mother struggle is one that's very near and dear to my heart because of my journey through single parenting, teen, and being a teen mom. And I had recently spoken to this client who had run into a struggle with her son who was in high school. The school year had just started. She had purchased him some new school shoes, and in a month and a half, he had already outgrown his shoes. And she was like, I don't even know how I'm gonna be able to buy this boy shoes. He has to have shoes. I just had this conversation with that particular client a day or two before this lady dropped $100 on my desk. So I sent the money to that client with the son needing shoes. And in my mind, I did my job. Like I didn't accept the gift. I gave it away. That was my thinking. Well, over the passage of time, one thing led to the next, where the executive director found out about that exchange that I had with the client. And I was called to the carpet on it for not involving him, for not telling a manager, for not telling a supervisor, because of the principle of Proverbs 17:23, because of the appearance of accepting a gift, because of how ethically I can be perceived as, and the firm can be accused of wrongdoing when accepting gifts. And by not telling my manager and by not telling my executive director, it would appear that I was hiding something, that I had done something wrong. But when I explained what my thinking was, why I panicked, and what the circumstances were, I was exonerated for any wrongdoing, but I was scolded very strongly by the executive director to never make those kind of decisions without seeking guidance from a manager or from him directly, because of the harm that can result when it appears that someone who is placed in a position of trust is accepting gifts. So, as you can imagine, I was very relieved that I did not get fired that day. I realized once I left the downtown office that there had not been a decision made whether or not I was going to have a job when I left that meeting. And by the grace of the Most High, I was not terminated. I was not found to have acted in a way to willfully break rules or violate trust or accept gifts from clients, or violate the gift policy. But what that situation and the, like, the embarrassment and the frustration that I had in that situation, it has etched this rule of law into my mind, into my awareness, into the way that I move, and that is to not accept gifts. They cloud your judgment and they betray justice. When you are a person who is in a position to work as a neutral, whether you are working as an arbitrator, whether you are working as a mediator, when you are in a position of trust and you accept a gift from someone whose case comes before you, you cannot be expected to be fair. It is only right that the person on the other side knows I'm not qualified to listen to this case. I'm not qualified to decide this dispute. I'm not qualified to be in the seat as a neutral because of my relationship and gifts that I've received from this person in the past. You see how that works? Like, this is human nature. When you think about what's wrong with the United States and its lobby system, the way that people are given tickets to the game and in the, the I forget the name of the suites upstairs in the stadiums, but y'all know what I'm saying, like up there in the executive sections of the stadiums, and those tickets are being passed along to lawmakers, people who are in positions of trust, when other people who have the authority and the power to decide the future of someone's dispute, to write laws that affect other people's life, liberty, and their pursuit of happiness. Accepting of gifts is a huge violation of trust, and it must be disclosed if you're ever put in a position to have to decide between two people, some differences that they're having, and you have a history with this person in the past that is giving you gifts. You cannot do it. Recognize that no matter how small it is, the Proverbs also tells us that there is a power connected to the giving of a gift to a judge. The giving of a gift actually turns wrath away. There's a wiring inside of us that responds to gifts favorably. And when you have received a gift and a person has gained your favor by giving you gifts, then you must recuse yourself from any future dispute involving that person, because the law of favor is operating according to the gift that was given. I've had a couple of situations where I had to turn some gifts away because I began to understand this particular proverb with more of a depth of caution, in asking, why did this person give me this? Are they seeking to purchase my loyalty? Are they looking to position me where I owe them something? And it's not that I don't accept gifts. In fact, I'm wearing a gift right now that this was given to me, right? These are a gift. So I accept gifts from my friends. But if my friends have a situation that needs me to act as a mediator, I'm not qualified to do it because we've exchanged gifts. We've purchased favor with one another. And that's just the law of human nature. So, whenever you are in the seat of a mediator, the seat of an arbitrator, you are called upon as a person to be a peacekeeper in managing justice in the community. Be very, very mindful of this, and do not take for granted what the smallest gift can do in coloring your outlook on a person and feeling obligated to return a favor. It is dangerous, no matter how small the token is. And when you govern yourself you govern yourself by the no gifts policy in this space, your reputation is protected and safer as a result. I look forward to tomorrow as the final day of this challenge. And again, I celebrate you and I appreciate you for joining me for this dive into the justice code. Be blessed.